Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do We Know Them, episode 192. I'm Jessie Smiles, and this over here, oh yeah, that's Lily Marston. See, it's been a while since I did that.
And I bet you're wondering how we ended up here.
Well,
me too.
Yeah, same, actually. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've been waiting for when we go visit the billboard, but I have an old picture of us that I'm gonna post and be like, if you told these girls that they were gonna be on a Times Square billboard.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have believed that. Would have thought you were crazy.
They would have
or on drugs
been
or
drunk and probably not remembered.
True. Well, guys.
Hi.
We do have to get straight to our topics today because we are trying to get everything in order so that we actually post while we're in New York and don't ruin our lives and have to edit in hotel rooms and cry.
Yes.
So
we'd like to enjoy the trip.
We would. So let's just get right into it. We do have two topics we want to get to, and we are going to get to both because I feel like lately we've been saying or insinuating that we have two topics and then we just don't cover it.
I feel like these ones aren't like crazy extensive though.
Expensive?
Extensive.
Oh, I was like, no, they're not expensive at all. They're free. I found all of this just on the internet. Okay, so do you want to cover Peanut the Squirrel first or Paris Hilton's makeup artist, drama, whatever the fuck we titled this?
I feel like let's get the squirrel over with because it's the sad one.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. Okay. So the way that I found out about this is on my For You page, an interview with TMZ came on and all I knew was that a squirrel and a raccoon were killed. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why am I watching this on like a Monday morning? Like, this is really sad.
I had no idea because this has kind of been like an ongoing issue for a little while now, culminating in a very tragic ending. But I just saw someone repost it on their story on Instagram like yesterday. It was like someone I knew had donated to a charity that was, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that. Okay, so the people that we're going to be talking about is Peanut the Squirrel, who he had a TikTok account, but he had 211,000 followers. That is a lot.
That's pretty famous for a squirrel.
Definitely.
We woo. Misinformation police. We haven't had too many actionable offenses lately, but I couldn't let the girlies get away with this one. The girlies said Peanut the Squirrel had around 200,000 followers, but based on this TikTok I stumbled upon, it appears that Peanut the Squirrel actually had over 2.5 million followers. That is, before TikTok deleted his account and forced him to start from zero, which is the one the girlies were referencing. Anyway, just thought we needed to clarify and put some respect on Peanut's name.
And then his dad is Squirrel Dad 12 and he has 37,000 followers. And then his mom is Inked Goddess.
I don't know if it's necessary, but trigger warning if you don't like sad stories about animals.
Yeah, unfortunately, Peanut the Squirrel and the raccoon that we're going to talk about are no longer with us. And it is really sad and fucked up. And we're covering it because not only is it a viral story, but it's also pretty weird. Like there are some aspects of this that I'm like, oh, okay, that I just felt like we needed to cover it, because if it was just a story about a squirrel dying, like we're not covering that. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? But this has a lot of little elements to it that I thought were worth at least looking at.
Including but not limited to the fact that he didn't just die, he was murdered.
Yeah, literally, he was euthanized. Okay, so let's get the background on how Mark rescued Peanut.
About 5 years ago in New York City, I was leaving a project and unfortunately I saw this squirrel get hit by a car. So as I got closer to the intersection, I actually thought she was still moving. But as I got closer, I noticed a baby squirrel and he was trying to cross the same intersection as his mom. So I quickly ran out in the middle of the street to try to get him out, try to like scare him away. And instead of him running away, he actually crawled up me. So I took this little baby home. He only had one eye open, he had a really bad back limp. So I got home, I called a few vets. Unfortunately, I didn't get some good news back. They all said they would probably just euthanize him. So I went at it. I started researching squirrels. I got him on his diet. And about 8 months into our rehab, I actually released Peanut in my backyard. I was hoping he'd be able to live like a wildlife, but also be close enough to home, just in case he needed some extra food or some shelter. But unfortunately, he only spent a day and a half outside before he was attacked. I'm not quite sure what attacked him, but it ended up stealing half of his tail. So I didn't see him, sitting on my porch missing half of his tail. And that was pretty much the end of Peanut's wildlife career. So now he's just a strictly indoor squirrel, and we have the best time together. Peanut was the first thing he would actually eat. Again, I didn't know very much about squirrels.
That made me sad, knowing that he's not alive anymore. Jesus. But
I know.
Basically, you get it. He saw him on the road, didn't intend on adopting him, and then kind of happened upon it. I have seen some instances like this on TikTok with other animals that are not supposed to be kept as animals. So if you don't know, there are rules and literal laws against keeping things like squirrels and stuff in your house, depending on the state that you live in, for many reasons. We're going to get into that a little bit.
I'm sure, I don't know the ins and outs, but I think you can get certain like permits or licenses and stuff to have them, but you can't just like go outside and find a squirrel and be like, you're mine now.
No, you can't. And so the fact that he did do that, and I understand it was well-intentioned, obviously, like he didn't hurt the squirrel or do anything, where he wanted to care for it. And that's very noble and that's very sweet. But unfortunately, because there are laws and rules in place, there was a route that he had to go to keep this squirrel, and he didn't go that route. So instead, what he did was he took it in, it became like part of his family, and then he kind of expanded upon that. I think rescuing Peanut kind of opened him up to wanting to rehabilitate other animals, which is also very sweet. And he started the Peanut's Freedom Farm, which is an animal sanctuary.
Have you seen the videos of the before and after of the horses there?
I know he had horses, but no, I haven't seen the before and afters.
It is insane. It goes from these horses that like their ribs are like poking out and they're all like kind of mangy looking to like gorgeous, like look like very expensive like show horses, like coat glimmering in the sun. It was insane. I was like, is this real? And it is.
Yeah, I think that it's very sweet. Obviously, he loves animals and wanted to help them. And he has been pretty honest, and we'll also see that in a few of these videos. He's been honest that Peanut was really the reason that that all happened, not just because Peanut inspired him to create the animal sanctuary in itself, but because Peanut pretty much was the cornerstone of the funding for the farm. So Peanut being viral on social media was what made him the money and what got him the donations from those viral videos to be able to have that farm. What's problematic with that is that when you are breaking the law, which whether you think it was right or wrong, that is what he did. He did break the law. When you are doing that, a really bad idea in general is to document it on social media, because
I was going to say to put a ton of eyeballs on it that aren't going to agree with it. Because especially on social media, you know how harsh people are with animal advice and like their opinions in general. So
yeah. And also they are in New York, and it is illegal to own a squirrel in New York, just to like preface that. We have looked into where he lives, and yes, it is in fact illegal. And the people that crack down on this are known as the DEC, which is the Department of Environmental Conservation. I don't know what their role is. I'm not sure why they do what they do. I think that we have some more information on the actual laws and stuff, and why I guess they would think that saving a squirrel from a house that like loves them and cares for them and feeds them, and then euthanizing it is somehow more justified. But
so that's what I don't get. I'm like, environmental conservation, you're not conserving much. Like,
well, literally, you're just ending it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot.
I did see something about like, I don't know if this was actually like a legitimate reason that was given, but someone said something about like the possibility of rabies or something was listed. But then I saw people commenting saying like squirrels have been like very much documented to not carry rabies. So I don't understand the reasoning at all.
Now, they had a long history, and like people knew and loved them on TikTok. I honestly had never heard of Peanut before this, unfortunately. Like I had never seen any of their videos, but a couple days ago, I think 3 days ago, as we're filming this, his girlfriend posted this TikTok where she's posting an old video with Peanut, and it says, "Please help us, #FreePeanut." And then the caption says, "Please help us. Peanut got taken away by DEC New York on Wednesday. We don't know where he is and if he's alive. We miss him so much." At the time, so this was before they knew that he had passed away, they posted to their GoFundMe and they said, "Dear supporters, the DEC has chosen not to disclose whether Peanut is alive, a decision that has left many of us feeling concerned and uncertain. While we understand the importance of privacy and the well-being of all animals, this lack of information can be disheartening for supporters who deeply care about Peanut and the other furry residents of Peanut Freedom Farm. We appreciate your understanding as we navigate the situation, and we remain committed to providing the best care possible for all our animals during this challenging time. That said, the Peanut Freedom Farm continues to rely on your generous support to ensure the happiness and health of our 300 animals."
Yeah. That's like, it's a huge place.
That's insane. That's actually
I need to
crazy.
pull one of these horse videos because like it was blowing my mind. Like it seems like they're taking very good care of them.
Your contributions make a significant difference in providing them with the care they need and holding the DEC responsible for their inhumane actions. We truly appreciate your ongoing support during this challenging time and hope you will continue to stand with us in this battle for the animals. So nobody knew. Like everybody was literally just on standby waiting to see what happened. And then it came out that Fred the raccoon had passed away because his girlfriend posted a video that said, "Rest in peace, Fred," and then she put a little raccoon emoji, "and Peanut Squirrel euthanized by the New York government." And people lost their shit. And that's when they got the interview with TMZ, and it was this whole thing. And we're gonna watch the interview. It is really sad. Obviously, they're sad as fuck. Like, they're crying. It's not a fun watch.
Well, it's because, like, I mean, obviously losing a pet in general is devastating, but then also losing one that was so, like, integral in having them launch this whole thing and, like, what their entire career is now. And, like, why would you take an animal away that nothing was wrong and then kill it?
We have, like, there's articles and stuff that go into the legality of it, and we'll get more into it. But let's watch the interview first because, this killed me.
Learned that they have euthanized Peanut.
And the raccoon as well.
And the raccoon as well. I am so sorry. This must be really difficult for you.
Not TMZ pretending that they give a shit about anything or anyone. Let's
Honestly,
be for
like,
real.
This is like one of the most compassionate I've seen.
Yeah, and it's about animals, of course. Like, if it was about a human being,
It was
they're
like, because
fuck
they
you.
can't talk shit about the animals.
Yeah, literally.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal after they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house. Then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
They got a search warrant?
They got a search warrant. 4 departments and a judge signed off on a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon. And then they took them and killed them.
Why did they go through all that to get a search warrant for an animal that had been with you very safely, and the world witnessed this for 7 years? Why now suddenly did they show up with a search warrant and take these animals?
We haven't a clue. We don't know who made the complaints. Again, Peanut was an indoor squirrel, not harming anybody. He's been with us for 7 years. Not a single complaint was ever filed for this animal. We had him for 7.5 years. He became the world's most famous squirrel. We weren't hiding him by any means. He was all over TikTok. He became the first squirrel on TikTok to ever hit 1 million followers.
Is there a lot of competition there? I mean, I'm not even like...
I was gonna say, okay, weird comments about the fame of the squirrel, but literally, what the fuck? 10 to 12 officers to come retrieve a squirrel?
I know.
And like,
and they left
that's
his
absurd.
place fucking destroyed. We have a TikTok of it. Like, literally, they just destroyed everything looking for them, which is insane.
What the fuck? Are they just bored? Oh my God, and then they just kill it? Like, how does that make any sense?
I know.
Every news station around the world, he's helped people. He's helped kids gather joy. And then we started a nonprofit animal rescue called Peanut's Freedom Farm to help animals like Peanut fight a good fight when they're in a neglected case or they're sitting in a slaughter auction. And he was the cornerstone of our life and our organization. We used his platform to help raise money for the 300 animals we have at our sanctuary.
Okay, we have this TikTok as well, which is showing the condition of his home because it's insane.
The officer opened the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding something in there. That's to find a squirrel. Let somebody come in here and do this to your house and keep it like this. I actually have broken soap bottles on the ground. I have a stain on my ground. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. This is to find a squirrel. You see that? That's that. See that? Do you see this, guys?
Literally, what the fuck?
Like, they didn't break anything per se, but like they fucked. It's like somebody tried to rob them, like, is what it looks like.
Were they like hiding him?
He says like, oh, they wouldn't let me in. Like, I couldn't even go to the bathroom, but I would have been like, I could just show you where he is. Like, what are you doing?
Well, that's,
I don't know if he just
like, this
didn't
seems
want to.
absurd.
Yeah.
Like, it almost seems like they used the squirrel as an excuse, but they were looking for something else for some reason.
I know. Yeah. But I don't think, I know people have theorized that, but I don't think that's the case. It does look like that though. Cause like the back of the toilet, the squirrel's not in there. I guarantee you.
Literally. I'm like, when he said that, I was like, looking for what?
Literally.
More squirrels?
Yeah.
Like, they don't have them just shoved in every nook and cranny of the house. Like,
insane.
You want to tell me that that's acceptable? This is the destruction that these people left in my house. So if you guys want to explain to me how this wouldn't devastate you, I have never been in trouble with the law whatsoever. There's another suitcase that came out of the closet. I don't have anything else to show you guys because the mind-blowing thing is the only places that they fucking destroyed was my room. The only things they destroyed were my room. They raided my house.
for a squirrel and a raccoon.
So we have an article from USA Today that is exploring the legality of everything, and we're just going to touch on a little bit of it. But I think that the main sentiment of it is that there are ways to become a wildlife rehabilitator, and I have seen it. Like, I remember there was this one beaver on TikTok. It's so cute. But the whole point of a wildlife rehabilitator is to try to rehabilitate them and get them back, I think, into the wildlife. And if they're unable to, then I think there's avenues to go to or through to be able to establish that and then be like, okay, then you could keep them. But I think that the whole sentiment is like, the last resort is to keep wildlife that belongs outside and isn't to be domesticated because it's not natural to them. Like, that's the last resort, not something you just deem that you're like, well, I'll take care of him. Like, that's fine, because there's dangers there too. Like, you hear of people taking care of monkeys and they're fine for 8 years and then they fucking rip your face off. Like, there are wild animals that shouldn't be deemed domesticated for a million reasons.
For sure.
I'm not saying Peanut the squirrel was going to rip anyone's face off. He looked like the fucking sweetest thing ever. I'm just saying there are, you know, there's reasons that people do
I think
things.
there are legitimate laws that I think are good that they are in place. And the whole thing with domesticating wild animals also is that a lot of the times when you do it, even if it's for a short period of time, it makes it so they're unable to then be like acclimated back into their normal wildlife situation. And that's why a lot of sanctuaries exist for like monkeys and stuff like that, where it's like they're in the wild, but it's enclosed. They try and make it as comfortable and like normal for them as possible, but they can't let them into the actual wild because it would be unsafe for them.
It's hard to look at a squirrel that obviously was chilling and like seemed not disturbed,
thrilled.
You know, like he seemed fine. But also, I don't know shit about squirrels at all. There's a squirrel rehabilitator named Rachel Tyndall that comments a lot on this article and gives some kind of insight into this. She said that pet squirrels are never a good idea. They're very destructive, they're aggressive, and they're difficult to care for in captivity. But she also said that some squirrels will fail at rehabilitation and are deemed unsuitable to go back into the wild because they've imprinted on the humans caring for them, which I think is what happened when he got him so young. And then they never develop typical squirrel survival skills, but for a squirrel to become as affectionate and loving as Peanut is very rare.
Yeah, and it says also in those rare cases, she said squirrels can develop strong connections with humans. They're intelligent and can problem solve, have little attitudes, and can be even more lovable than a cat or a dog. And it feels like that was definitely the route Peanut went.
And then it says on this article that the process to legally take care of certain kinds of restricted wildlife varies by state, but virtually everyone who wants to help rehabilitate a squirrel or similar animal in the US needs a permit from their state and possibly the federal government. And then in New York specifically, wildlife rehabilitators need a license to take in squirrels that need help. They can only be kept for a few months before they have to be reintroduced to the wild. So it seems like there is a protocol, which is like I said with the beaver, there is a protocol to continuously try to reintroduce them back into wildlife. And it is apparently for their own benefit. Maybe like a mental thing, or I don't even fucking know. But there has to be a reason. I mean, I wish I knew more about squirrels, but believe me, I don't.
I mean, I think it's definitely a lot different than like trying to domesticate a fucking lion or a monkey, like where it's like they're gonna literally like eat you.
Yeah. And then it says here, to keep a squirrel for longer, a rehabilitator has to apply for a permit through the federal government, and those officials send investigators to check out the living environment for the animal and ascertain that it is safe. Caretakers are required to get regular veterinary care for the animal, and a vet must write a letter explaining why the animal is non-releasable. In New York, the rehabilitator then must apply for another special state license. It's highly regulated. Like, it's not just like don't do that, okay? It's like, these are the steps if you're gonna do that, and it's only under strict circumstances. So when I started learning this, then I'm like, how do you have a farm? And I think it's great. He's taking care of so many animals. But like, how do you have an animal sanctuary, a 501c or whatever the fuck it's called? Like, you started this whole foundation that people have donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to, and you didn't know that you needed a permit to keep Peanut?
Well, just to play devil's advocate, not saying that he shouldn't have known that, because I feel like I would have looked that up pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
But the other animals on the farm are not like wildlife.
Correct.
It's like
well, that's why they
horses
stayed.
and, like,
Yeah, that's why they
ponies
stayed.
and-
No, but I'm saying, like, you're running such an operation. I struggle to believe that he went viral so many times and didn't have people like point that out to him. I'm not trying to
I
blame
feel like that
him.
would have been irregular.
Yeah, but
No.
I feel like he should have known. It's really unfortunate. And he says here, we were ready to comply. This is in reply to what happened. We were ready to comply. We were ready to complete the paperwork. We were in the process of doing that. We needed a little bit of guidance from the DEC. To which I'm like, you've had him for 7 years.
Yeah, no, But I did see the complaint from a lot of people was, how are you going to take him? Like, yeah, he's had him for 7 years, but like you're not even going to give them the chance to properly like fill out the paperwork and stuff. You're just going to take him away.
I agree.
Not tell them anything and euthanize him. Like there should be some kind of like grace period where they can try and remedy the situation and like make sure they fill out all the right forms.
I agree with you, but then I'm also like, they didn't send a letter? They didn't say anything beforehand, like, hey, we know what the fuck you're doing? Because I imagine this is over the course of like multiple complaints. Well, Joy Sparkles says this on TikTok, so take it with a grain of salt. But she says that it was this one woman, and she like shows her picture and everything. I'm like, bet you anything that is a random woman she found on Google, but okay.
I actually heard that though. They did figure out who it was.
That's what everyone's saying,
people.
and we do have
I
it.
wouldn't
But
trust Joy Sparkles.
I'm
But
reluctant to show it because I'm like, how do you know that? You know what I mean? But they did say that it was this one woman in particular, but I would be surprised if it was just one person. I bet you a lot of people probably reported him to the state over the course of 7 years.
And he mentioned earlier, though, that he hadn't gotten any complaints until this, which I don't know how he would necessarily know that.
Yeah, I
but
wonder if he means like neighborhood complaints or something like that. Or yeah, I don't know. I find it really hard to believe that number one, he didn't know that he needed a permit, like that in 7 years he was in the dark. But then also that, yeah, that they would take that squirrel and not give him a chance to rectify it, or not try to give the squirrel to another rehabilitator or the raccoon to another rehabilitator that is permitted and could take care
I don't
of him.
understand.
How is death
What's the purpose in
option?
euthanizing
Like, that's
them
fucked.
when they're perfectly healthy and nothing's wrong? Like, how are you protecting animals or
Yeah.
the environment when you're literally just taking them away and killing them?
It's really, really sad. And I know that maybe they have their reasons, but I don't think there's anything that would justify killing a fucking animal.
They're not good reasons if you ask me. I don't know what they are, but
So we have this Reddit post from someone in the New York subreddit, and it's pretty interesting. So I do want to read it because it gives a different perspective to this. It says, I know this will get downvoted, but I've worked in wildlife rehab as well as in government agencies, FWP. I don't know what that is. Something isn't adding up here. The influencer made $250,000 on the petition donations alone for ... Lawyers won't pick this up. He did not have a license. Nothing illegal happened on the part of the government. I don't necessarily agree with how they handle wildlife, but I know and understand the laws. Was the money for this other sanctuary? Why is that linked to the tragedy that occurred? And sorry, I'm not going to jump to donate to a guy who didn't even renew his shit at the cost of 2 lives. He knowingly took a raccoon and posted it with a lapsed license.
that implies, though, that he had a license at some point and he just let it lapse.
He implies that the raccoon had a license, does not state how he knows that, and also Mark doesn't talk about that at all. Like, he doesn't say, like, we had a license, we just needed to renew it. Like, you know how Reddit is. They just know shit, and I don't know how. I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. Take that with a grain of salt.
Next paragraph is interesting. There's a ton of misinformation here. They do not seize animals due to the environment being poor. They seize them due to state law regarding rabies. Rehabbers and even unlicensed people who help wildlife are very aware of the state law regarding rabies, vectors, and euthanasia. This is why we do not post illegal animals on the internet for likes, money, and fame. What a dumb, senseless risk. But that's what I think is interesting, because I told you I read that thing where it was like, there's no, like, squirrels don't give people rabies. So that shouldn't
like ever?
That's what the person said. I mean, it was a comment somewhere, but let me Google it really fast. Okay, it says, can a squirrel get... Well, literally the top thing that came up is a USA Today article about Peanut. But it says, can squirrels get rabies? Though it is rare, squirrels can carry rabies and they can pass along the virus to humans. But even like before that, Google has that new AI overview that pops up and gives you like summaries from different websites. And the first sentence is, squirrels are very unlikely to get rabies. They are rarely infected with rabies, and bites from squirrels are usually not considered a risk.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the same answer, though.
This is interesting, though. It says there are no approved methods to test animals for rabies while they are still alive.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Hey girlies, we have an update. So apparently before they announced that they had euthanized them, the DEC did put out a statement that said, following multiple reports from the public about the potentially unsafe housing of wildlife that could carry rabies and the illegal keeping of wildlife as pets, DEC conducted an investigation. DEC's investigation is ongoing and additional information will be provided as it becomes available. But then they also ended up saying that apparently Peanut bit someone during the investigation, and they seem to have put that out there as basically a way to justify their decision to euthanize, because apparently, as I said earlier, there's no test for rabies that you can do on animals while they're still alive. So, yeah, no shit he bit you. You were taking him out of his house that he lived in for 7 years. And also, based on what the aftermath of that seizure looked like, I have to imagine they probably weren't very gentle and calm. So, no shit he bit you. But here's the kicker. When you look up whether squirrels have ever given a human rabies, you're not going to find anything. In fact, here's a few examples that I thought were interesting. Here is from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. They have the different types of animals listed that could give you rabies, and they categorize them into high risk, moderate risk, and low risk. Guess what category squirrels are in? The not reportable category. It says, not reportable. Squirrels, rabbits, rodents, birds, snakes. Bites from these animals are not reportable because they do not spread rabies. Interesting. It does say at the bottom that the rabies risk in LA County may shift over time. Other counties may have different rabies risks. But actually, it seems like most states I looked at are all on the same page. Here's the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Due to the extremely low risk of rabies which these animals present, testing them for rabies is not indicated unless unusual circumstances exist. It goes on to say, small rodents, squirrels, hamsters, guinea pigs, gerbils, chipmunks, rats, and mice, and lagomorphs, rabbits and hares, never heard that word before, whether wild or kept as pets, are rarely found to be infected with rabies. And let me stress this next part, and have not been known to transmit rabies to humans. Interesting. Here's the DC Department of Health, where they say, and I quote, no person in the US has ever gotten rabies from a squirrel. And then here we have the New York State Department of Health website in their rabies section. Remember, this happened in New York. On this page, it says, what animals can get rabies? And while raccoons are listed, this is what it says regarding squirrels. Some animals almost never get rabies. These include rabbits and small rodents such as squirrels, chipmunks, rats, mice, guinea pigs, gerbils, and hamsters. It is possible for these animals to get rabies, but only in rare circumstances, such as if they are attacked but not killed by a rabid animal. Problem there is, I don't think either of those animals had been attacked by a rabid animal. In fact, they were living in their own rooms in this house that they got seized from. But definitely no shortage of literature that you can find online where it says that squirrels have never given rabies to a human before. Like literally LA County don't even report if you got bit by one because we're not concerned. That's what they said. They don't think you have rabies. Don't bother them. But here, the squirrel that you ripped out of his home, he bit you, and suddenly now him and the raccoon both have rabies and need to die. No, sorry, I don't subscribe to that. That is bullshit, and they know it, and they're trying to justify it by basically like fear-mongering that there's rabies in these animals, and it's very clear that no one else thinks that, so fuck the DEC, and rest in peace, Peanut and Fred.
Before we continue, we really quickly want to thank our sponsor, OneSkin.
OneSkin is one of our favorite and longest running sponsors at this point. They have a skincare line that Jesse and I are both obsessed with.
And the secret to OneSkin is their OS01 peptide that works at the cellular level to switch off the dysfunctional cells that cause your skin to become dry, dull, and age faster than it needs to. So it's basically fancy terminology for it helps with wrinkles and stuff. I feel like I've seen the most difference because I've used it for so long. Like after the 4-month mark or something, I was like, wait a second. Okay, wait, no, I see it.
To celebrate the holidays, OneSkin is also just come out with a limited edition holiday bundle. It features travel sizes of the OS01 face, OS01 eye, OS01 body, and it all comes in this chic bag.
It's a perfect gift, but also I feel like it's the perfect way to try OneSkin if you haven't yet. It gives you a good taste of the entire line, so I highly recommend.
And in addition to that, you can also get 15% off your entire purchase if you go to oneskin.co and use the code DWKT.
That's 15% off at oneskin.co if you use the code DWKT, and then after you purchase, they're gonna ask how you heard about them, and it helps us out a lot if you let them know that the girlie sent you. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to OneSkin for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast. Well, this Reddit user goes on to say he did not properly rehab the squirrel and had no business taking that raccoon. He could have taken both to a legitimate rehab facility in New York State before this happened. This was an ego venture, nothing more. Look at it this way. If someone threatened to call animal control on my pet and there was a real chance that they would be killed, that pet would be off the internet no matter the money it brought in. There are so many other plot holes to this story. I'm not even sure I buy the quote unquote I was renewing my license thing. Dude has also been pretty questionable in his comments. And then he brings up something that I did want to cover. He does have an OnlyFans, which fine, go off. And it's called Squirrel Daddy.
Wasn't that his other handle too?
Yeah, that's not weird to you?
No, it is. But
and then in the first line of his OnlyFans, where he's literally like holding his dick, like his bulge, it says Peanut's dad, very kinky player. Like that's weird marketing. Like I get it. Like Peanut's the forefront and how you make money for the 501c, but maybe not on the OnlyFans. Let's keep him off of
Well,
that.
so I didn't know any of this until this very moment, but I did
Are you a bit
see,
shocked?
I'm just kind of weirded out, but
Same.
I also did see some videos that I was like, that's a little weird. Have you seen specifically when he like goes and opens the refrigerator? He wears, first of all, very tight pants. Very tight pants.
Oh, is he doing like softcore porn on TikTok where his wiener's kind of like you could see the outline?
Oh, for sure for some of them. But like,
I hate when
regardless,
people do that.
it's like he's wearing like workout, like tight, you know, like spandex kind of pants.
Oh, I know.
But
Yeah.
then it's specifically when he's opening the refrigerator, Peanut would like jump onto his butt and like.
Okay, I haven't subscribed
I don't
to
know
this
if that's a weird
OnlyFans.
fetish.
I just
I hope not. But
the first thing that I said when Alex told me last night, he's like, he has an OnlyFans named Squirrel Daddy, and I was like, please tell me no. Please tell me no that it does not have what I think it has. He's like, no, I don't think so. And I honestly, I have not subscribed. I don't know what's on that OnlyFans. I don't want to know. This was honestly weird enough to me. Like, I was just like, okay, I get it. Marketing, it's your username. But like, it feels like he didn't have a limit with Peanut. And I'm also like, okay, Peanut's not a kid. Like, it's not like I could be like, oh, you're exploiting your squirrel. But like, it just is weird and it just feels weird. And that's really all I could say about it. And I feel so like he's passed and it just feels weird criticizing him.
I think
But it's
two
weird.
things can be true.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
in
you're right,
the
you're
camp of I don't think that exploiting, I mean, if you want to say exploiting, I don't think Peanut had a problem with it. He looked like a very happy squirrel.
I know, he did.
But like, was it very irresponsible to have him for so many years and not go through the proper channels to get all the paperwork done and get the permits, whatever you needed to make sure that it was all by the book? Yes, I think that's not a good move, especially when you are broadcasting him to hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people daily, and like how passionate the internet is about animal laws and animal whatever. I'm honestly surprised nothing came up sooner. But on the other end, I also very much think that euthanizing them
is wrong.
is absurd. Like, why? What's the
I think
point?
by
How is that
definition,
helping anyone?
that should be last resort. Like literally.
Yeah.
How is that the only option?
And then to be like, well, they might have rabies. Like, what?
they also might not.
And then we can't test it unless they're dead. So I guess we're going to have to kill them. Like, no. In that vein, I feel like, are you going to go catch a bunch of wild squirrels and say, oh, well, these might have rabies? What if they get in contact with a person? I see people feeding squirrels all the time.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about rabies in general, but from what I do understand, you can tell when an animal has it.
Yeah.
They
They're like
act
super
really
aggressive.
fucking weird.
They can be like, if it's
or like
extreme
docile.
foaming
It
at the
could go
mouth.
either way, I think.
There's definitely a lot of like clear symptoms.
Yeah.
And I don't think Peanut was exhibiting any of them. So
No.
to kind of be like, well, it was just a safety precaution for who? The people
I
that have
know.
had him 7 years and he clearly didn't give rabies to? Like,
I will say that although the DEC, in my opinion, made the wrong decision euthanizing Fred and Peanut, because that's fucked up and literally why, I also am just like, why did you post yourself literally breaking the law by having him for years?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? And I get it. It funded his GoFundMe, which by the way, literally is at like $175,000, I think that he's raised right now.
people are very passionate about it.
They are, but at the same time, like that Reddit user said, he's not going to be able to pursue anything legally. He broke the law by having Peanut. And he posted it. And that's why they knew he was breaking the law, which I'm sure they knew for many years before they even seized him. The only thing that I'm like, okay, well then go off is that, okay, then it's going to go to the other animals is what I would hope and assume. Like, I don't think he's going to pocket it and go to fucking Bora Bora. Like,
No. And I feel like people donating probably are under the
Doing it for the
impression
animals.
that they don't really care where it goes as long as it's going to help something.
Yeah. Honestly, my only thing here is like, I wish he would have just gotten the permit. And I mean, the OnlyFans thing is definitely weird. I don't want to criticize him too much. He's going through a fucked up time. But I
I
just
don't
like,
think he's doing like squirrel porn.
no, I don't think so either. But it's like, I don't know, Squirrel Daddy. Like it starts.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's odd. But I don't think it was because he didn't care. I think probably at the end of the day,
No.
he was like, it's one squirrel. Like, what are they going to do? Come send a team of people, 10 to 12 agents to come get
That's
it? Like,
literally, yeah. I think he downplayed it
It
in his
seems
head, and that's why he
unrealistic.
didn't get it done.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the paperwork because he's like, well, like, what the fuck is the worst that could happen? Well, this is the worst that could happen. So let it be known to anybody that does find squirrels or anything and wants to help them out. It's really sweet to help out animals, but also for one reason or another. And I just know you guys are like, there's always like people in certain specialties that will comment down below. So like, if you know about squirrels and stuff, like explain to us why it is important for them to be out in the wild and why it wouldn't be ideal for them to be domesticated. But it seems like that would have been
and
what was
explain
best.
specifically when you can't put them back out in the wild, then why the alternative was like seemingly, and it didn't seem like it took like a long time of deliberating and coming to that decision. Like it was a few days.
No, literally she posted like, please help us free Peanut 3 days ago. So they decided within a day or two to kill him.
Yeah.
And Fred.
I don't know. And then just the whole search warrant thing and like literally looking in the back of the toilet, like it seemed like a drug raid.
It was a lot. And I get it. He was breaking the fucking law. But I just think that there's ways to do things. This was not the way to do it. I don't think. There had to have been better ways.
Well, and he was posting about the squirrel and the raccoon. Like, so I don't know what they were looking for unless that was literally like they couldn't find the squirrel and raccoon and were just stupid and looking and very,
maybe they thought
under
he
the
was
carpet
hiding it. Or maybe he was like when he saw them come or something. Like, maybe
but then also I'm like, or were they like trying to be like, oh, well, what if he has more? The whole thing seems
like if he was running some sort of like squirrel farm or something and like had
literally. But I'm like, but he was posting about the other ones. Clearly, that's not the case. Like the money that went towards sending 10 to 12 officers to go raid his house is absurd when they like can't even like literally you could report child abuse or like a dog being abused and they like aren't even going to show up at all.
Yeah.
Now there's one squirrel that's living in like a happy life that you can see and it's like, nope, come on team, grab the SWAT car.
I just feel like all in all, it's just so sad. And I'm so sad that he's gone. Like the way I found out about him was he was already dead. No. And Fred the raccoon under the little blankets.
I like almost wish that there's like, I don't think this is the case, unfortunately, but it's like if they just like wanted them to go away and like didn't want to deal with them. And
what is this, the witness protection program?
Literally. They like rehomed them to an actual wildlife place.
Yeah. And I think that Redditor had insinuated that he was telling people to like call DEC and stuff. And I don't think that's smart either.
I think people are just upset because they don't understand why that would be a course of action you're taking for a clearly healthy squirrel. So I understand why people are mad and they like how often does stuff like this happen? We're only finding out about this because he's a famous squirrel. But like, are they killing animals though? Like, is that a common thing to just like, oh, no, sorry, you can't have this anymore. We're going to kill it now. Like that's fucked. And seems like it defeats the whole purpose of the organization.
I know. I bet it is probably normal practice, which is really sad and unfortunate. And I just think that if you're someone that has ever thought of doing this, you should not. And I think that he should have used his platform to get the permit and then like tell people, hey, he is the exception, not the rule. Don't do this. But I think it was more like, look at my super cute, like, domesticated squirrel. And I hope nobody followed in his footsteps because it could end up like this and it's not good for anybody. Okay, so Lily has requested that we show the video of the horses and react to them. Yeah. It has music, so we can't show that.
But just to show, like, 300 animals is a lot, but like, look at these transformations. Like that, you can see that horse's ribs. They look pretty rough. Literally. What?
Oh yeah.
It's not even just like, oh, they're not so skinny anymore. Like these horses are gorgeous and they look like they're just like absolutely thriving. Look at that property.
And that's not cheap. Like that takes a lot of money to
That's
run.
The thing. I'm like, this is a lot, not even just a lot of money, but it's a lot of work. Yeah. Like I was just like very impressed.
No, and I do think, I don't want to take away from that at all. The reason why I was even bringing up like it's crazy that someone that has that wouldn't have the permit is like, I get it. Like he was just a regular person that kind of stumbled upon this life. Maybe he always wanted a farm or something. I don't know. But to actually create that is a lot. Even to own like 5 horses, like that's a lot of work. That's a lot of like organizing vets and doing a bunch of stuff. I just would think he would know about the permit. Like I'm just like, no.
But I think again, he probably like downplayed it because he's like, what are they going to do? Come like take my squirrel away? Like it just seems like so
many followers. Yeah. They'll literally come and take your squirrel away. Like I think it's more of just a learning lesson for anyone that would have followed those footsteps because he was fine for 7 years and Peanut was fine and Fred was fine and then they weren't. And it's just like, just don't post it. Don't post it on the internet, or if you post on the internet, assume the government's watching because they are.
Yeah, and like, I feel like they probably just assumed that like it had been so many years.
Yeah,
and,
like who's gonna
one's come from
get us
and
now?
It's fine.
Yeah.
And then now they were just like really not preoccupied, like neglecting him or anything, but like preoccupied
doing
like
a bunch
not
of shit.
Even considering that because they're literally running a farm. Yeah.
And an OnlyFans.
But
that part is literally the only part that I was like, okay.
Can I show you the squirrel butt videos?
Oh my God. I thought that you were gonna subscribe to it. I was like, no, that's okay. We don't need to go that deep into into a dive.
No, absolutely not. After the Island Boys, never again. And that was just going on their Twitter.
I can't believe we actually showed that. If you missed the Island Boy days, like you weren't here, I wish I remembered what episode they were in.
I don't even remember the circumstances, but it was basically like Jessie had already blurred them, but then she sent the screenshots to me and they like weren't the full tweets, or like I went back to get like better screenshots of it, not better to then include their weens, but
then you just didn't censor it.
I forgot.
And I literally like we went live and I'm like, the
times.
Island Boys fucking wiener is on our episode right now. Can we please fix that? It was alarming. It was alarming for sure. We could have gotten banned, but we're still here. So anyway.
Oh God, you're gonna hate this. Yeah, no, he's really
Do we have to blur his ween?
No.
Okay, so it's not that tight. Okay, more copyright music. He's got
but a lot of the squirrel just like, I guess Peanut had something to hold on to. So that's why he would always jump on his butt. But it's specifically every time he's opening the fridge. And the video I saw was much more like shirtless and tighter pants. And I felt a little uncomfortable. But
Peanut's so cute, but also like he's like ripping open this waffle bag, which is fine. I'm not saying he's like committing a crime. I'm just saying like I wonder how much of it was him romanticizing having a squirrel and how much like Peanut probably fucked that house up or something. You know what I mean? Like getting into shit. Like, you know, everybody shows the best parts of themselves on social media, or at least that's like what
the
most
highlight
people do.
reel. Yeah.
I do wonder. And I mean, again, I'm sure they had a great relationship. I'm not trying to insinuate they didn't. I just, when I saw him ripping open that waffle box, I'm like, okay, that would be cute for a second. And then I'd be like, fuck, every box is like bitten into.
Well, there's some kind of like ongoing waffle situation. Like they eat waffles together. That's like a thing. So maybe, I don't know. But he does seem like he like trained him. Like he'll like put his hand out from like far away and the squirrel like literally, it's like he's a flying squirrel.
Oh, I
just,
bet.
Like, jumps over to him stuff. So I don't know. He seems like he was not, I mean, there's not a bunch of like wounds or anything on this man. So I don't think he was like scratching him up or anything. But
no, I don't even mean that. I just mean more so
shit.
like because squirrels aren't meant to be in houses, that might have just become a thing that he didn't show. But okay, sorry for the no resolution. Let's skip to the next topic because it's going to be a little bit more lighthearted.
Yes.
It is almost a copy paste of a topic that we just talked about like 2 weeks ago. What is going on?
So you guys had tagged us in this a few times and I click on it and I had only just started watching it and I sent it to Jesse and was like, because we're trying to brainstorm topics. It's like, this one might be good. I'm not finished watching it yet. And I get like another minute in and I'm like, oh my God, deja vu. This is literally the wedding makeup artist. You're probably like, which one? The one where the makeup artist canceled. I don't remember if it was the day before that for that one too, but for a rapper.
It was, I think, yeah.
And I don't remember, did she give the excuse that it was a family emergency or something?
No, that one, it was like, I think it was same day or like day right before and was like, oh, like, hopefully like weather permits for like us to keep going.
I remember she was banking for a hurricane, but I think she ended up canceling for some other reason because it was enough in advance that she did connect her with other makeup artists, which the bride was not happy about because we've talked about, like, first of all, with that one, she had done like a trial and it was like this whole thing. She'd been confirmed for so long.
You book a fucking makeup artist for your wedding months in advance.
Yeah.
For them to cancel even same week is detrimental and super fucking stressful. I don't care if you link me to someone else's Instagram. It's not
exactly.
good enough.
But because that's the whole thing is like you get a trial done for a reason because you want to know for sure that you're going to like the makeup. So you can't just last minute be like, this other person's gonna come that you didn't even approve. And I remember that one, she like didn't like the makeup artist. Luckily, this one turns out different. But basically, we now have so this time we have the male version. We have makeup artist Andrew St. Andrew is his handle, but his name is Andrew Ibarra. And he is a Vegas/LA based makeup artist. And the bride here is Courtney DeVoe, and she was in Vegas. So she had, I guess, booked him. They were all confirmed. And literally the night before, he messages her.
Yeah, I do think it's important to note, though, she's from Colorado, it says here, right?
But the wedding was in Vegas.
Exactly. But if you're not from a place and you're booking, that makes it even harder to find someone. Because, like, you're not going to be able to do a last minute trial, none of that.
Well, and he does give her someone, but let's just listen to her story time. Oh, and by the way, this time the makeup artist didn't ditch her for a rapper. It was for Paris Hilton.
Right.
And Paris Hilton, if you see this, it is not your fault. Okay, this is not your fault. I'm also coming with receipts because I feel like if I'm going to make a whole story time about this whole thing, I'm going to have all the tea for you guys. Take it from me and do not book a celebrity makeup artist for your wedding day. And here's why. I booked a celebrity makeup artist in Las Vegas for my wedding day. I figured, I wasn't spending much on my hair. I might as well ball out on my makeup. So I booked it about a month in advance. Tell me why my makeup artist cancels on me at 9 p.m. the night before my wedding. He says that he has a family emergency, has to fly out to
9 p.m. the night before
Diabolical.
is insane.
Criminal.
Like,
Jail
you are a
time.
monster.
Literally. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. He tells her, "Hi, babe."
The hey babe to
Don't
start.
call me babe.
No.
"I have an emergency in LA and have to stay with family till Sunday, but absolutely wanted to make sure you were set up with someone for tomorrow. Same time. She's literally the best and only one I recommend to my girls. She's confirmed and can send your deposit to her now. I'll start a group message now." This is her Instagram. We're moving too fast. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
first of all, like, no asking. And also, usually if you have a family emergency, you don't have a set, like, in and out date. You're not like, but I'll be back Sunday. The emergency will be over
Oh, I didn't
by
even
then.
think of that. That's so true. Yeah. Everything will be fine by Sunday.
And also, do I see an apology anywhere in there? No.
True. No, there's not. I
No,
do
not
find it
once. I'm
extra,
so
extra
sorry.
fucking weird to just like insinuate that's like, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. And then you could send your deposit and all this shit. First of all,
No, wait, the cherry on top, the glitter emoji.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
You
I
fucking
didn't even
kidding?
add the sparkle. Just rub it in her face. Why don't you?
Yeah.
But it's really just insane that he would just assume that she would want to go with someone. Like, how highly do you think of yourself that you think your recommendation is like, I don't know, so sanctioned that she doesn't even need to agree? It's like, you're welcome for getting you this recommendation. It's like, I booked you, bitch, not anybody else.
to fly out to LA. And I'm already thinking in my head, I'm already like, we have a family emergency in LA. Okay, well, given the benefit of the doubt, I respond. I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear that. He tells me
Specifically, she says, "Shoot, I'm sorry to hear that. Are her prices the same as yours? I was really pushing my budget to come to you because you're a celebrity makeup artist, and I was so excited for the experience, and now I'm not sure that I'm okay with paying $250 for a different artist." That's kind of, I mean, I know $250 is a lot of money, but I would have thought it would be more.
I agree.
Like a celebrity, like I doubt he's charging Paris Hilton $250. But I mean, just because you're a celebrity makeup artist doesn't mean you have to charge everyone as celebrities. I do think $250 is like a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of blanking now on what my past ones have cost.
Honestly, I would say that usually like 100 something bucks, maybe.
I was going to say high end, I feel like was like 150.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty standard. Remember, it takes them like
It takes
an
an
hour
hour.
to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they
So
were
it's like-
using their products and stuff, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, there's like a kit fee or something that they bake in. But like, you were a makeup artist. How much did you charge?
No, when I was a makeup artist, I was really young, so I was charging people like $50.
You're like, I just did it for free.
No, not for free, but I was charging people like $50.
I've got you set up with this other artist. She's confirmed. I've sent your deposit. She'll meet you at your hotel. So I'm like, okay, well, at least, he has me booked with somebody else. Granted, I was only planning on paying so much because he was a celebrity makeup artist. So at this point, I'm like, well, it's 9 p.m.
She puts on screen, she's the same rate and can send her your deposit. That's the average rate in Vegas for a high-end artist.
Which I will say, I think the term celebrity makeup artist shouldn't necessarily also equate to like an automatically higher price tag. Like, I get that you obviously, if you have a crazy portfolio and you're doing a bunch of famous people, you can charge more. But that doesn't mean that other makeup artists aren't as good. They just didn't necessarily go into the celebrity makeup artist aspect.
Oh no,
of the-
absolutely. Yeah. I think that obviously mattered to her. And I do know that some people, like with nail techs and stuff, if they do celebrities, like they prefer to go with them just to be like, oh, I got my nails done by the person who does like Cardi B's nails or,
Yeah.
Things like that. To me personally, that shit does not matter at all. I'm like, can you do them well? Thank you. Okay. Well, then that's it.
Well, and it's like they could have been just as good before they were a celebrity makeup artist.
Right.
It only takes one celeb and then it...
Yeah. But I do know that that's very much a thing and people do start charging more or like they highly advertise the fact that they have done celebrities to gain more clientele. It's a part of the game.
For sure, for sure.
Well, it's 9 p.m. the night before my wedding. I'm supposed to get my makeup done in the morning tomorrow. So whatever, I guess I will just get it done by whoever he's sending me to. The next morning comes along. He didn't give me her phone number. He only gave me her Instagram. So I message her on Instagram. I'm like, hey girl, I am the bride whose makeup you're doing today. Here's my room number. Let me know how we're supposed to meet. Thank goodness she responds to me because it said it had gone to her request. because she has like 100,000 followers. So I'm over here worried that this girl's not even going to see my message the day of to do my wedding makeup. And also in my mind at this point, I'm like, I'm just going to end up doing my own makeup. I had already come to the conclusion I was just going to do my own makeup, take my L, just whatever. Makeup artist messages me back and she is like, hey, I have no idea who you are. I don't have anybody on my schedule for that.
The way I would literally lose my mind.
Pardon?
Like,
what?
well, I mean, already, the fact he didn't give any contact info, what do you mean?
If
like,
that is
it's the
true,
night before.
that is fucking insane.
Oh, it is, because don't worry, the makeup artist that does do her makeup does a great job, she says, and also is what you would call a girl's girl.
Oh, period.
Told me that it was confirmed already and that he had sent the deposit. So my eye is like literally twitching at this point. I'm like, okay, breathe. I am, getting married today. This is supposed to be a great day for me. So anyways, I worked it out with her. She's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be there. She shows up. I tell her so-and-so was supposed to do my makeup last night and he canceled on me and da-da-da-da. She tells me, because it's a small world. It's a small world, teeny tiny world. Oh, he doesn't have a family emergency. He's in LA. He's doing Paris Hilton's makeup. I'm like, okay. I knew that he had done Paris Hilton's makeup. He had also done like Megan Fox, J-Lo. Like the dude is a celebrity makeup artist. I'm like, okay, well, he told me he had a family emergency and that's why he was canceling the night before my wedding. And so I go on his Instagram page and I'm like, surely he blocked me from seeing his story. Do you think he blocked me from seeing his story?
Wow.
No, he didn't. I screen recorded it, so here you go. I'll in LA for Paris Hilton. How many brides did you cancel on? Because
What the fuck do you mean?
This one still of him with this mesh shirt and huge glasses would I would literally go insane. I would just completely
It
lose it
says,
seeing
in
this.
LA for the queen, and then tags Paris Hilton. This isn't like you canceled on a photo shoot someone. It's her wedding.
You're
the
sick.
night before.
What the fuck?
Family
Cancel on
emergency.
because you
Just
had a better-
also happened to do Paris's makeup while I was there.
Right.
Opportunity come up. That is like absolutely absurd to me. Don't get me wrong. I understand, when an opportunity opens, you should definitely take that. Say it with your chest. I don't even know how to hate on that. It's like, okay, well, I'm not Paris Hilton. I'm sure she's going to pay you more than I was going to pay you. Even though we've had this appointment already scheduled well in advance, I guess I understand. But don't come telling me that you're going to LA for a family emergency and then you're posting up on your story for Paris Hilton. When she comes to do my makeup, this is important. I had agreed with him. The total price was $300 and I did a $50 deposit. So when she comes to do my makeup, she lets me know already, like, he hasn't sent me a deposit. And I'm like, okay, well, he told me he was sending it to you, so that's annoying.
It says on screen that he ended up sending her the deposit around 9 p.m. on my wedding day after I had to remind him.
That's insane.
Meaning after she got married.
He literally sounded so prepared on his text message that was like, this is all the steps I took to make this right, basically. And just took none of them.
I ironed out all the details, blah, blah. It continues to spiral.
He hadn't sent her the deposit. On top of that, she asks me, may I ask you how much, he was going to charge you? I said, well, I had $250 remaining that was due. And he told me that you had the same prices. She just shakes her head and she's like, he told me, and she shows me the messages. So I saw the messages. We're both communicating. Like, did he not think that we were gonna communicate? Don't know. Anyway, she shows me their messages. He told her I was going to pay $350. That was never discussed.
Which is especially just fucked because she literally clarified when he had said that he booked her with someone else that she was already stretching her budget to have him do it.
Yeah, but also now I'm confused. When did he communicate with the other makeup artist?
We'll get to that. He basically texts her, but he doesn't even say that she's a bride and
doesn't relay the situation properly.
He doesn't confirm it. She shows the text.
Oh God, okay.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just thinking I'm about to just have to pay that. And she was so nice. She was like, I'm not going to charge you, more than you had already anticipated on paying. This is not your fault at all. This is all on him for the way that he was so unprofessional, handing you off to me and not giving me any information. He didn't even tell her that I was a bride. He just said, hey, I have a girl for you to do her makeup tomorrow. That was it. All the while, he's just in LA living his best life. you know, with Paris Hilton acting like he didn't just cancel on who knows how many brides. So in conclusion, don't book a celebrity makeup artist, you guys, because they're going to just cancel on you, and they're going to peace out at their soonest opportunity for a real celebrity, because they don't care about you from the streets. You're a peasant to them. They don't care if it's the most important day of your life. They don't care. But this girl, this angel that came and saved the day, she treated me like a celebrity and reminded me that it was my big day and my fairy tale, and that, you know, I deserve to be treated like everybody else. So book with her, don't book with him. And Paris, this is not even your fault if you're seeing this. If you're seeing this, Paris Hilton, just hope that you do take into consideration the ethics and the morals that some of these people have that you hire, because it's not a good look for everyone else to be treated like trash based on their status. I think that's crazy. You either are a celebrity makeup artist or an artist that services everybody and treats everybody the same.
I 100% agree with that.
Scroll down. She hasn't commented yet.
Paris Hilton? No.
Yeah. You know, Paris is so chronically online and constantly responds to people that tag her and stuff, and like comments on regular people's TikToks. She has not responded yet, but I guarantee you she will.
Well, it's taken her a hot minute. Okay, so this is part 2.
There's several bombshells in this one. But so to start, this is replying to a comment that's saying, he did this to me too just last weekend. He didn't tell me until he was late for the appointment on my wedding day, said it was a family emergency. They did the heartbreak emoji. I had to do my own makeup on my wedding day.
Oh my God. Dude, at that fucking point, literally stop pretending that you want to do people who are in celebrities makeup. Just stop pretending. Like, just stop it. Take everyone off your books months in advance and just be like, I'm sorry, I'm on to different ventures. Like, what are you doing?
And also, if you're doing like Megan Fox's makeup and J-Lo's makeup, like, why are you
still insisting on doing other people's makeup? And also, isn't it just fucking stressful as hell to cancel on people every weekend? Like, I bet you he's doing this constantly.
Clearly not, because he didn't seem like he had a care in the world on those Instagram stories. Before we go any further, we have a word from our sponsor, Lola V.
Lola V is an award-winning hair care line founded by none other than the iconic Jennifer Aniston.
And they offer clean, plant-powered products designed for every hair type and texture, so you can embrace the season without sacrificing your hair health.
Apparently, the story of how Lola V started is that Jennifer got tired of the same struggle that we all face, which is choosing between hair products that work and ones that are actually good for us. So then she created Lola V. It has great ingredients and it works.
And they have their naturally derived peptide bond builder known as BPRO3 bond technology, and it's derived from chia seeds and is clinically proven to prevent, protect, and repair signs of aging and damage on hair.
And this holiday season, you can get Lola V for 15% off over at lolav.com if you use our code DWKT15 at checkout.
That's 15% off if you go to lolav.com. That's LOLAVIE.com and use the promo code DWKT15.
Please note that you can only use one promo code per order and you can't combine this promo code with any others. But after you purchase, they're going to ask how you heard about them, and please let them know that we sent you. And thank you so much to Lola V for being an amazing sponsor of this podcast.
And because there was another comment I read where they said the same thing, but that he was just a no-show.
Jesus. So yeah, he's just fucking with people left and right.
So he doesn't care. Oh my God. And not starting it off again with, hi babe.
Shut up.
I can't. Oh my God. This is giving Rebecca. Wait till the rest of the world hears the truth. You're legit using this moment for likes and views. I had my mother in the hospital, and because of the fact that I don't discuss with you those details and just said family emergency, you want to slander my name to have a moment is cute. Actually, sir, it's not the lack of details that were the problem. It's the you posting saying that you were in LA for your queen, Paris Hilton, and dancing in a photo.
If my mother was in the hospital, I wouldn't be like, well, I can also do makeup while I'm here for Paris Hilton. I would be in the hospital with my mother.
Not only just do makeup, but then be like posing in photo booths.
Insane.
And like really just feeling yourself. Then he says, girl, I was kind enough to... Oh my God, the entitlement. Girl, I was kind enough to set you up with someone who clearly came and gave you an extremely great service. The fact that he's like blaming this on like him not divulging the details of his mother's alleged emergency, whatever, which you'd assume is a health thing. It was that you were literally posting in photo booths in your mesh t-shirt and like voguing.
You didn't seem like you were going through something. And I mean, looks can be deceiving, but come on. What is one supposed to deduce? At the very least, being like, hey, I am sorry that happened, and I understand how you deduced that, thinking that like I just left you for Paris Hilton, but I'm actually like there was a million ways he could have said something like this.
Instead, he goes like, you're a clout goblin, basically. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm the Cloud Goblin, even though you just canceled on me for Paris Hilton.
Right.
She's not responded. And these all seem pretty rapid fire. So he says he was kind enough to set her up with someone. And it's like, kind enough? That's the least you could do. You canceled the night before her wedding, you asshole.
And you didn't set her up with anybody. The makeup artist didn't even hear about it until the day of.
Or he had said, like, are you available? And then it was like, didn't ever follow up.
Yeah, that's not setting someone up with somebody.
Yeah, did not confirm the appointment and all. It's just ridiculous. After he says that it's the least he could do, and then seems to like take credit for the fact that she did a good job. You don't get to have that as being one of your bargaining chips here. But then he says, but you're still reaching to have a moment. Girl. All
Jesus.
caps. He continues, I believe.
Oh, yeah, he calls her like 17 times.
Yeah, it was like, after that is when he begins calling her. He literally called her 3 times in a minute. Then he says, wait till you look like the fool using lies to get you views on social media. Girl, crying face. Then he starts calling her frantically again.
That's insane.
Also, not like him frantically, like fighting for his life, trying to get her to answer, but like, she's so wrong and she's doing this for views. It's like, then
and
why
also
are
like
you trying
threatening her,
so
like, you're
hard
gonna look
to-
really fucking stupid. Okay, well then make her look stupid then. What are you waiting for?
Exactly. It seems like
you
you're
have
kind of maybe
time.
missing some ammo to be able to do that,
Yeah.
and that's why you're actually trying to like get her to take it down or something.
If your mother was in the hospital, why were you posting your glam opportunities on your story when your mom is apparently going through something so traumatic? Okay, number 1. Number 2, you did not send my deposit to my new makeup artist until 9 p.m.
This is the other makeup artist texting this girl. She says, hi, love. He still hasn't reached out to me yet, but I'm so happy I was able to make today special for you, especially after everything you've been through since last night. You made a beautiful bride today, and I'm blessed to have been part of your day. Pray that you and your husband have a beautiful and blessed marriage. Hope to glam again when you come back to Las Vegas. XOXO. So that was Saturday at 6 p.m. 3.5 hours later, she says he sent over the deposit, babe.
after my wedding. Okay, the deposit was supposed to be sent the night before my wedding when you canceled on me. So why were you waiting until 9 p.m.? Oh, because the world revolves around you. That's why.
Correct.
Okay, point number 3. This was his entire conversation with my new makeup.
Okay, this is what's great. It's him going, of course, hi, babe. I don't know why I don't have your number. That already gets me ugh. Then he says, are you available for one girl tomorrow around noon? $350.
What? Literally, what the fuck?
Not a bride, not $250, which she already agreed to. So the makeup artist responds and says, hi, love, I have a 12 p.m. available. And he says, yay, you're the best. I appreciate you. And then she says, thanks, babe. You can send them my number, and gives her number, which, again, he did not give to the bride because she had no way of contacting.
Well, yeah, he said, I'm going to start a group chat that he never started.
And then he says, yay, perfect. I'll start the group chat in just a sec. Heart and a smiley face.
Okay.
Guess what he never did? Start the group chat. Or follow up.
Right. So he did reach out to the makeup artist and said, do you have anything available? And then when she said yes, he never said, okay, this is the name of the girl.
No.
He never started the group chat. So in reality, he did reach out to her, but he didn't book shit because this isn't a booking.
Yeah, very much. He made sure she was available, but then never followed up with any of the details. And they aren't close enough that they have each other's numbers even.
I would have assumed oh, he found someone else or something.
Exactly. Thank God she had it
He
open.
never gave her my name. He never gave her my phone number. He told her $350 instead of $250. He failed to mention that I was a bride. He never started a group chat with us. So don't come out here saying, oh, she got her money back. I sent the deposit. You didn't send the deposit until 9 p.m. the following day. And I'm also going to put up here my conversation that I had with the new makeup artist. Because
Really quickly, I would assume that almost any other makeup artist, this makeup artist, the one that ended up doing her makeup, sounds like such a fucking nice lady that wow,
Yeah.
she's an angel. Because I don't know many other people that would be okay, you don't have to give me the deposit. I'll try to get it from him. That's kind of like a not my issue type of thing. I charge this much. You know what I mean?
I think she just knew that this girl was going through it, and she was
No,
"It's fine."
absolutely. And I appreciate the fact that she did it. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people would have just been well, you can get your deposit back from him. This is what I charge. You know what I mean? Just as a business, whatever. I'm glad that she was a lot nicer. But him acting I gave the deposit back, relax. But she could have easily been no, you need to pay me $350 in full.
Yeah, no, he is so fucked on so many levels. The amount of just incompetence he's exhibiting is unreal. And just disrespect.
Yeah.
When we were messaging, she was just simply
Oh my God.
confused.
So the messages she sent to this new makeup artist, thinking that she already is confirmed, this lady is expecting to do her bridal makeup, she DMs her and says, "Good morning, I'm the bride you are doing my makeup for today, and I wasn't sure where I'm going to meet you, in the lobby or my room." And she says, "Hi, Courtney. Sorry, I don't have you in my books. What was your time?" And then she says, "I was initially booked with Andrew Saint. He canceled on me last minute and said he had sent you over my deposit and everything. My appointment is at Fontainebleau at 12 p.m. And then she sends the screenshot of her conversation with Andrew.
She was just simply confused. But she pulled it together and she made it work, and she showed up for me, as you do for your clients when you run a business. That's kind of like a crazy concept, that you show up for people that you book appointments for. I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh at this part. You are damn straight my man messaged you.
Okay, this is good. This is her husband who messages Andrew.
Oh no.
And he says, "Family emergency, huh? You bailed on my bride last minute for this emergency? You'll get what's coming to you. Karma is going to get you. Thankfully, her makeup came out better than anything you would have done. You're a piece of shit and you're selfish and disgusting as a human being.
Holy shit.
Get ready to get canceled because your dumbass is going all over socials. I'll make sure you and your business fails from here forward. And if you ever have the balls to meet up in person, let me know. I'm free on the weekends."
Okay. That's a lot, but no, I get it. I know he's upset. I love that also he probably knows nothing about makeup and is like, "That's better than anything you would have done." It's like, you don't know about anything. But
I love that, just like, by the way, I'm free on the weekends.
Yeah.
Stand on that. I stand on everything that he said. I hope that anybody else that this would happen to, that their man would do the same. You literally tried to sabotage his bride's day. What did you expect? You can continue turning your comments off and trying to silence everybody that's in the comments saying that you also did this to them, but you're not going to silence me, because this is my platform. And now that I have people in my DM saying, "Hey, Andrew also did this to me. Hey, I got married on the same day as you, and he no-showed me. You no-showed a bride the same day as my wedding. And your argument was that you gave her deposit back. You're out here no-showing people and canceling on brides the night before. I genuinely hope that other brides see this and do not book with you. So go ahead and keep turning your comments off. I hope that they see this and see that I'm a real person and this was a real experience for me, regardless of why you canceled. Everything else that you did leading up to it was wrong. Everything else was wrong." So that's the last I'm going to speak on this matter. I'm so glad that I really had the opportunity to stand up for myself and so many others. I hope that Andrew learned his lesson, and that's all that I have to say.
Honestly, it's crazy because I'm like, the Paris Hilton part of it aside, literally all you had to do was start a group chat. I'm like, this is the bride. Here's the right price. But like, literally, he couldn't even do any of that.
Well,
right.
His text was so highly insinuating that he had it all figured out. And then he had nothing figured out. Like, how does that even happen?
And it's like, if you at least pretended like you didn't have it as much figured out, then she could have like met you halfway and like figured out more of it to be concrete, at least before, you know, the day of her wedding. But like, the fact that he does it frequently, it seems like, is insane. I'm like, why would, especially of all people that are not celebrities, why would you take on brides as clients if you're going to be so flaky?
It seems almost like just greedy, wanting to have as much clientele as possible or whatever, and then just not being able to keep up with it, because obviously what he wants is to do celebrities. Like, that's what he wants. So just go and do that then. Stop fucking pretending that you want to do other people. But
exactly,
he did respond on Instagram story.
Oh God.
And he says, "I'm going to keep it classy and respectful during this insane, horrific lies and slander / harassment made towards me with @Courtney DeVoe on her post."
Oh, really? Classy and respectful like you did in her DMs?
Just call her 17,000 times. That's really classy, really respectful, really not unhinged.
And tell her that she's doing all of this for clout and not like apologizing at all.
"I'm not going to give her or any of her evil following any attention they want or deserve, because I just don't move like that. But all darkness will come to light and all my real ones know exactly who I am. And that's all that matters to me." What does that mean?
She has proof of you being just an inconsiderate asshole. What do you mean?
I can't. Also, you would think that a fellow makeup artist who I recommended myself would tell her the truth of the situation as well to clear the air. And then she tags the makeup artist Gwendolyn. "I always want all of my fellow artists and people to win, thrive, and succeed in the game, because there's plenty of work to go around for everyone, and everyone has their own personal craft, but just disappointed in how people will move to have a moment of notoriety during a time of lies, harassment, and death threats." Oh, brother.
No one is sending you death threats.
Literally,
oh my God.
Also, you know, I just find it so interesting that you would criticize a makeup artist for being very honest and First of all, saving your ass, showing up with less than 12-hour notice or like a little bit over 12-hour notice. That's fucking insane. Do you know how long it takes a makeup artist to sanitize and pack their kit? Like hours, like to wash all the brushes, just that alone. You can't let people know 9 p.m. before and then just like fuck them over with saying the wrong price and not booking everything. And she has to pick up the pieces that you left and then be like, well, the way you move. She was just being honest that you fucked up because you fucked up.
And first of all, that makeup artist, to my knowledge, didn't come out and say a bunch of horrible things about him. She just like got her shit together to pick up all the stuff that you left behind. But what I think is insane is like, you're going to criticize her, but like, had she not pulled it together and gotten all that done, I'm sure this would have been much, much worse for you, sir. Like, are you kidding? She saved your ass.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, to treat her like this when she was just trying to fix the situation is fucked. And then he says, thank you all for your supporting messages. Nobody's sending you supporting messages. Stop it.
No.
Defending the truth on her post, even though she deletes everything anyone says speaking the truth about what actually happened and what went down. I genuinely appreciate it and feel all the love from my people reaching out to me. You guys have no idea how grateful I am for my real ones defending my name during these lies and nonstop attacks that I've had to reach out for legal actions for. Love you all. I will take things that never happened for $500. Like, nobody reached out. Well, I mean, all of it. Nobody's reaching out to you or even commenting on her shit, being like, you don't know the truth. Because at the end of the day, you didn't communicate. You fucked her over. You fucked that makeup artist over because you wanted to do Paris Hilton's makeup. Just own it. Like, it is like, stop.
Like she said, like, say it with your chest.
Activity.
Like, what's the truth? I love it when people are all like elusive with like, oh, the truth will come out. Why wouldn't you just tell us? If you had some just crazy bombshell that was going to totally flip this thing, you want us to expect that you wouldn't share that? Because bullshit.
Yeah, it's giving that owner's daughter who crashed the wedding and it's just like, you guys don't know the truth. Sometimes there's not a truth that could come out that would rectify the whole situation and make you look completely different. Sometimes you just fucked up. And like, even if he had good intentions or like, let's say he shows proof that his mom was in the hospital, that still does not change anything. Because you did find time to do Paris Hilton's makeup. Okay, let's say you were trying to do 2 birds, 1 stone. You were already in LA visiting your mom. Just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
You fumbled all the details and we're still fucking her over.
Yes, like you handled it poorly. And now you're mad that people are telling you handled it poorly. And that they shouldn't book with you if they actually want an artist to show up on that day because you're flaky as fuck. That's it. Like, the fact that he has the balls to post them, legal action. Oh, go off. Go find a lawyer. I dare you. Like, what the fuck are you going to do with that? That's so stupid.
Literally, like, what did she slander? She read your messages.
And she even showed the messages where you're like, the truth will come out. If she was trying to hide something, I doubt she would want to show that.
Again, like she said, his comments were turned off because he was getting comments of people being like, this happened to me too.
Right.
Blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then he's like, she's deleting comments. I can guarantee you, no one is leaving comments that she needs to delete.
The only thing I'm waiting on in this situation is Paris Hilton. And we'll see if by Friday she answers. Come on, girl, we're waiting. I mean, obviously, like, she probably didn't even know this was happening. And it's kind of an awkward situation where, like, you wanted your makeup done and, like, someone said they could do it. And then they just behind the scenes push back someone's very important day. Like, it has nothing to do with her.
No, but I would be interested to see. I feel like she, of all people, because she is very chronically online and knows how to get some good PR, as long as he's not like her lifetime like only makeup artist and it's gonna be like, I can't cut ties with him because like he's my go-to, like I don't know, even then I'd be like, oh, that's a little sketchy. If he's just someone she uses occasionally, she will very much throw him under the bus to be like a girl's girl that's like, oh my God, that's horrible. And then she'll probably like send something to her like as a gift.
Or just like give her the money for like her doing her makeup.
Exactly. She does like a lot of things where it's like, oh, I can't believe Paris Hilton saw that. Or like she'll like duet people and like randomly send them things. So I feel like it's right up her alley and a great PR move if she does.
Yeah, definitely. I also think that like for him in general, I'm sure you do need to continue to have clients because maybe his celebrity clients book with him every few months or something. Like it doesn't seem like he's on tour with anyone or something, but just find a better system. Like I don't think he's necessarily just like wanting to fuck people's day over when he's booking them, but that's what you're ending up doing because you're not prioritizing and you're not, I don't know, like you're not leaving space for if a celebrity comes in, like you don't have a good plan in place.
A lot of it might also come down to that he's Las Vegas and an LA makeup artist. So the celebrities oftentimes are probably going to be in LA, but
Yeah.
if he's in Vegas, so he's booking normal clients in Vegas, and
While
then
he's
he
waiting
gets
for a
random
celebrity to
call.
book. Yeah.
Exactly, and then he books, and then they fly him out. Because what if Paris was like even later in the day? He could have done both of them if they were in the same spot, but it's
Right.
that he had to fly to LA to do it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but also she found a great makeup artist. So not that unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that it ended up good for her, but I'm just like, bro, don't do brides makeups
I
of
know.
all people. Also, if you're gonna bail on someone last minute, don't act like you're doing them a favor by trying to find them someone else and then fumbling all of the details so that they have to like figure it out the day of their wedding when they have a lot of other things they're probably gonna be worried
Don't
about.
do that. Okay, well, we love the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. I normally don't like things where people fall. Like, I don't like for people to get hurt.
I feel like you do.
No, I don't. I don't like, or like,
We just watched that guy with the sandals.
no, that's different. Like, he didn't get hurt. I don't like when people get hurt. Like, when you see like America's Home Videos or whatever, I don't like bikes hitting people or like a bat hitting a fucking guy in the nuts.
That
like,
is so opposite of my humor.
same.
Like, the only thing I feel like I've laughed at when someone's falling is the grape ladies.
Yeah. The LLO, I can't believe. That's the best. That's the best. Because it's such a unique fall, you know? It's something you don't see every day. And also,
It
like,
was one for the history
her
books.
actual fall didn't look painful, if that's what
It was
you
the
know what I mean?
sounds.
Like, it's, yeah, regardless, this is about a fall. I'm sorry. But it's this TikTok that they're like doing some sort of like dance number or musical. I don't know what exactly is happening here, but it says 2 falls, 1 excellent exit. P.S. He's fine.
Okay, well, that's good context. I missed that last. Did he do like a kick and then
Oh
walk
my God,
out?
yes. Literally, after the second fall, he's like, you know what? Actually, I'm done for today. Literally
There's, like, a
amazing.
little pop
Everything.
behind.
10 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
It reminds me of when I was doing the talent show as the Pussycat Dolls and we were lip syncing. I didn't fall, but I dropped my microphone and I just couldn't recover properly and it was all very embarrassing and I just wanted to run off the stage. So I commend him for just twinkle toeing it out.
But you didn't?
No, I didn't run off stage. I stayed on stage, but it was really, really cringy. It was bad. It wasn't like
must
that
have been
one
hard.
clip of Tate McRae. I don't know if you've seen her drop her mic and then she picks it up at the right time and starts dancing. No, it was not graceful. It was just like, oh shit, I
Didn't
dropped
have
my
mic
mic.
choreography.
Yeah, it was really bad. Anyway,
Oh my God. The fact that he even got up after the first fall, like, just great recovery.
I know. And
Oh.
and he fell on beat.
Bless his heart.
So many elements of it that
Yeah.
I love deeply.
Yeah.
So thank you, King, for that. That was great.
Oh my God. No, that was great. What do I have? I went down like a mini rabbit hole yesterday and we don't have time to do it, but it was about a horse. And it was about this girl talking about how like a basically animal communicator had helped her find her dog at this one point, and then like months later, her horse died and she hadn't talked to the lady in like the whole time. And the lady called like the next day and was like, I know what happened. Like basically tells her that the horse is coming back to her and it gets reincarnated. And then there's this like weird miraculous birth of a horse that she had bought a few months earlier. And it was like over the due date by like 2 months. And it was supposed to not even survive. And then the horse came out and it was like she had already predicted the color and the markings. And the horse, like the baby comes out.
Wait a second.
and
So
it
are
was,
we
like,
going down the
super
rabbit
calm.
hole?
I know, I'm sorry.
Like,
I was just like, the videos are longer, but
so
I highly
confused.
recommend everyone to look it up.
Okay.
I'm sure if you just search like
Is she
horse
like the Teresa
reincarnation.
Caputo of animals?
We don't even meet the lady that was predicting any of the thing. It's just the
okay.
horse owner talking about it. And oh my God, it's like crazy. I highly recommend you go watch. I will find a shorter one though. It's just so random, but it made me laugh.
Is it animals?
Yeah.
I just found what might possibly be the best thing ever. Pictures of different animals getting CT scans.
What is
A
it?
little man and a sponge. I've never put a whole lot of thought into like how they get those x-ray images of fish, but this was not at all what I would have ever have expected. If you're concerned like I was, they pour water on top of him and they keep his gills wet with the sponge, so he's fine. I don't know what it is about this that is so... I think it's just the sheer size of the gorilla. This doctor is either the anesthesiologist or like really trusts the anesthesiologist because the dolphin, they put a little wet towel on his head to keep him moist. Come on, like, come
up.
on. This is a
What?
snake in here. Again, makes a whole lot of sense but I would have never have expected it. They have to put him in little tubes. Look at, he's just like,
That is so funny. That reminds me of like when babies get their helmets and they have to like be in the thing like this and they look like squished. It's really funny.
Well, I guess I never thought about that either, because like I've gotten many a CT scan and like you can't move. Like you have to be totally
At all,
still.
yeah.
So it's like,
They get
how are
creative
they getting
with it.
animals
The
be,
pool
well, I
noodle?
guess usually I think they put them to sleep for it probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the snake one, hilarious. The fish and the sponge though was my
I was
favorite.
so confused. I was like, that looks like a fish, but it would be dead if it was outside of water. But then the sponge makes sense.
Great technique.
Well,
That's it.
all we have for you guys today. If you made it through this episode, we appreciate you very much. And we hope you had a fantastic week and a great weekend. The girlies are in New York as this is posted. So I don't know, we're probably out with I was gonna say our titties out, but that's not really like our MO. You're like, no, my titties are probably in.
And we're like with our families and like,
Yeah.
you know. But
I don't know.
if you think you see us wandering around, it's
It's
probably
us. Yeah, we're there.
you
We're
can
there
say
right
hi.
now. But anyway, guys, hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always, we will see you on Monday. Bye.
Yes.